Page Reishlun Ches. Reishlun Hey. Sorry, Reishlun Hey. So, we finished discussing, started talking about the Neshama Tumadregas, Naran Chai, the Avodah of Naran. The Avodah of Naran is bindiness is bound in a way that he understands and he feels, which is really all connected to his own being, to his own ego. Mash'avel. Sure, Masras Chulu in the middle of the page. Aval Avodah Prince keeping in the Shama, Shank and Avodah keeping in the Shama. From Chai Yechidu, Prince Rusa the Liba, Prince Hassan in the Shama. It's called the Usa the Liba, which is the plain, pure desire of the heart, which is from the Madriga of what's not within the Shama, the essential the drive of the Neshama is in this Beetle Mitzius. So that's Bidlum. It's not it's a la'atz. It's not about his own interests, his own needs, his own ego. Elo, kim ada himself. It means he wants to run away from himself. He wants to be consumed and not for himself. That level of Rosa the Liber also is also a result of his blindness. Ein Prince of Floyd that sense of Canada. That his blindness is in that Floyd. That blindness is not in the first. His blindness is how the Eibishter is within us. He creates us. He's connected to us. Second, this Madriga is that flow of the itself. The itself is separate and removed from us. The level of understanding, the level of intellectual engagement in this stage is nasagas ashlila. It's not a direct understanding of something. It's just shlila. It's just know what's not negative. In the level of consumption, it's impossible for us to have any understanding. It's only a sagas ashlila. It's only we can only capture what we don't have. This is the type of hasaga, this is the type of understanding. It's not pure, it's not a fully developed hasaga. In a way that it's captured in our own kedim, in our own vessels. Another point, so number one, it's not hasaga gmor. Number two, they're hair from the Meir and Sof. That the ikar is that it's the internalizing and the feeling of the Ein Sof, not so much understanding. Shar Sof ability musa, because the Ein Sof itself is impossible. It's impossible to comprehend. In Cain is so what's the ends in our saga, but mainly the fact that you're in a state of thoughts, of yearning to connect, is not a direct result of our saga, of understanding something. Ki'im, Shaideh, Sagas Ashlil, Sagas Aflo, because your mind recognize, you feel, understand the flaw, the shlila, how that is removed, doesn't have all that Kabbalah, that causes him a internalization of that of the madriga, the stuff is more flaw. That's the type of hergesh which is above us. It's above reasonable intellectual type of grasp. ועל דרך תכלס הידיעה שלא נדע אחו, של נדע, שהרגש הידיעה והרגש זה הנסוף שלא נדע. מה לאבא מהסוגו, ועל דרך תכלס הידיעה שלא נדע, הידיעה של הנסוף. גם דבכל הסוגו והסבינוס. Okay, so here it says that the asaga, the second level in asaga, the second madriga of the chai yechida, the makifim, is in a way which is above asaga. Sagas ashlila shaloi nedas. Agam de b'chol asaga b'izbeinus. So if this is a ergish, when it's dash zoe, it brings them to learn the mind of before. The mind of before this mind, we spoke so much about das that in order to reach the level, the asag has to come into the level of das. Which we did learn the Bible before. The shamo ergish mashamus. Simbot of need hergish. Here is the hergish, and over there is hergish. This is a different level of hergish. The hergish that is learned about in the previous mime about das, that's hergish mashamusuk. That means you feel what you understood. Agosh din musuk. Kana agosh and have a built musuk. In our case, in this, what we're discussing here, they said the hergish is higher than seichel. That's a hergish built musuk. To explain a little more, developing it a little bit, the Shoma Agostin in the Kia Musag, the Asaga Bechitzainus Indian, the Agoshi Be'etzem Pnimis. Over there, talking within, over there, it's also talking about the Agoshi captures a deeper place, but it's all within a Musag. Something you understand, the Asaga, the intellectual grasp and analysis is in the external idea, part of it, and Ergesh is in Pnimis. That's what the learned earlier when I get that. Kana Asoga Bashlila, but in our case, since the Asoga is not real Asoga, it's only Asoga Shlila. Shlila in the Stash is eine Asoga Beiko, Ubi the Stashs. We Yovin, of Muslim is so you understand what is Tashas is, and from that you derive, maybe that they don't something in Muslim. Mela, Goshim, and Sofa Muslim. So it basically says it's that in the previous time we also spoke about Argosha, but the Argosha there was at a lower level. Over there, the Argosha is in that level of a liquid, which is moving on Muslim. Where the Argosha is a result of this bonus of Asagat Shlila in a higher level of so. Okay, so that is the asaga. That is the seichel. The resulting feeling out from that asaga, that is beinus who b'chinas yitzir bitl matzmus. That in a state of yitzir bitl, he escapes, and he is running away from his own mizon metzias bitl matzmus. Now he brings in another point here that really in the higher level of the avodah of the makifin the neshama, Hayachid also have concept of pnimi, which is called avodah tanugim. So the that's more internalized. It's not some mufshin. In ein ze shetef el la'atzmach the shagat atzmach shetef loyer vagilus is the real concept of avodah tanugim is. He calls it Abba B'Tanugim, which is a very sound. It sounds like something that we can relate to Abba and Tanugim. But if you read the word, he's talking about very high level of Abbas Hashem. That Avan, that kind of doesn't mean in a state that it's about him, how he feels about it, how it's good for him, it's beneficial for him. Is killing a nefesh. The real Avan Tanugim is killing nefesh. Killing nefesh is the expiration. He's expiring. He doesn't exist. The truth is, he says that this, which is called Avat Tanugim, is not about him. It's close to nefesh. It's the expiration, the nullification of the nefesh. So why is it still Ava? Because the world of Tikkun, there has to be Shuv. Kavan should be Shuv, even what's the Shuv. Mele, ain't a place for going to Gamma. So it's not a pure way of to learn. I will have in the place to learn, but the average itself is place to learn. All right. So it's a cyclic paradox. I'm not sure I understand what it means. In K, Al Capone, in the Galilean name, ain't the Shetefes la Atzmak, even the Isle of Hezbollah. Okay, so we finished describing. Remember, we started talking about the two madrigas of. We started talking about two madrigas of Eretz v'Shamoyim, and then he said Nipsoy. The Alma discussed now with this Galia, and he started saying Kappa Peter Eshnon Hey that we have the two madrigas in the nefesh house, two levels of Havodah, Naran and Chai. From the Havodah of Naran is part of his own being, the Atzmai. Hashenk and Chai Yechida, which is the Yam, that is the Madriga Chai Yechida. But Yam, That is the madrega of bitlat, bitl mitzius, kiloy, bitlatzmus. Okay, so just like it is in each individual neshama, it has two parts nanachai. Similar to that is in the general body of neshamas itself. All the neshamas together, yes, neshama, some neshamas, their avodas Hashem is apitam vadas, limited, uh, limited according to logic. Is the avodas neshamas? That's obviously the R'Dovid Olidort. Shiur was a kamach look madrigas by from avodah. That gufa there's various divisions. There's pnimis, there's chitzonius. There's generally speaking, there's avodah chitzonius, avodah pnimis. The avodah pnimis, pnimis kevod v'exiesa balikus. When the avodah is in the way of pnimis, then it's some the neshamas of the avodah is more pnimis. So that's kevod v'exiesa balikus. Closer. זה כמשל שגם בעצם גם לחייז ממקור פן הסניף למקור. What does that mean exactly? Not sure. יחד. Oh, yeah, like נבואים שבאורץ. בעצם גם לחייז ממקור או פן הסניף למקור. Like נבואים שבאורץ. Okay. That it's still nifud. That's pnimis. But it says mekabel achayis. It's called very pnimis is mekabel is vekas, but still is nifud. Chitzonius ain't of his vekas kolkach. Okay, it's talking about different type of people here. So some people, the connection to the Eibush is stronger. You're talking about chitzonius. No, it's all within the madriga of Naran of Ptam Vadas. And that goof is some are more connected, some are less connected. Yeah. Gam, another difference is שהזבוינס וספרסל רק בשעת התפילו, מבחינת כמה לבד. Okay, that doesn't Tanya. That during the davening is in a state of his minus his parasal but during the rest of the day it's only Heskem Bilvad. It's in the mind along the mind before. Heskem means it's only a practical commitment. There's no, but his mind and heart is not in it so much. So that's one type of neshamas. That's R'Dovid Olidort. Yes, neshamas, but then there's a higher level of neshamas. Shabbos much in the snef shabitel. There madrig is to snef shabitel similar to the avoid of high yechida. Beetle called mitzius kumeva Moshe. So the example of that type of neshama is in Moshe Rabbeinu. Ksibe v'nachnu mo. Moshe Rabbeinu said v'nachnu mo. Mo means when it's beetle mitzius legamre. Lachein hoya kvat per kvad loshen. That's when Moshe had a hard time talking. He's galas at the v'chnas yesh. Dibo means yesh. So that's the point of that Moshe is that neshama, which is from a madriga of neshama is yeah. V'hainu p'neshesh shmas eloi p'nes pe'elien p'nes malchus shu p'nes agilu ki'im p'nes helim. His madriga. Also. Yeah, love hand. Right, that's a higher madriga. That's like that's not about shuv is one way, but the other thing is more the real connection to the Eibush, not that connection. Yeah. So that's one remez that Moshe Rabbeinu from that madriga of Amadis Kasi is Kvina Mayim Meshasir. Like I said, Mayim is the union of Amadis Kasi. Now, why did they bring Moshe in here? Because I remember the Maimah talks about what is the first thing in our Maimah? Vayet Moshe Siyodri. That's why he brings in Moshe right away. Later he'll talk more, but here right away he says that Moshe represents Amadis Kasi. Okay, let me read the kids on page Shin Samach Tov Samach Tov. Kitzer.
It connects the Rebbe Shmuel and Rebbe Kiva. The fact that he was something.
Yeah.
Ja, we kunnen dat zien is die slaapschuss.
Met Robert Gidre helemaal aangehangen. Yeah. So okay, let's see if. Yeah. So.
De beelden. Ja. Dan moet hij iets van genoeg zeggen.
No, that's the difference between a snapshot of Aram and a Kiva. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's why Aram is higher. Yeah. weiter. So, Tov Samachvav Badon, Kitzur David Moshe, Yaksha Ba'ofen Kriyas Yam Sof Zmano, that's good. Yagdim in the Nivoim, Dama discuss Mama Disgali, Yam Yapasha, avoided the Ran Makif in the Neshama, Li Toiv Vitul. So that's Bekitz and Nimwords in one line, the entire concept to learn in this pair. Gesund. I name she's Baruba Perik. Said that, that's it. Okay, taking a step further. Ine Ba'ilmas Ama discussing, I'm discussing Bria Vitzir. In when he talks about Ba'ilmas Potim, in the Seder Shtashlos, that these two Madrigas, I'm discussing, I'm discussing, that's Elam Abrin and Amatzir. Moshe Kosov, that's more and what we say in davening in the Pasuk, Yetzer Oyer Vayach Choshev. Yetzer Oyer means the Abriye plus Choshev ve'elam. The Elam Abriye Boyer is Choshev, but Elam, which Elam in the sense like Yam, Alma discussing, that everything is hidden there. Yitzir Prince Evigil. So that's Marumas in Bri Yitzir. Kamel Dech Marshal, Machshava V'Dibur. So usually, Chassidus, the Marshal Bri Yitzir is Machshava V'Dibur. So these two concepts we also find in the human experience. It's like Machshava V'Dibur. Machshava Prince Helem. Everything in Machshava is in the state of Helem. It's concealed. Nobody can know what you think. V'Dibur is Galus. V'Dibur means it's revealed. Omnam Yadua. Okay, so that's generally speaking is Bri Yitzir. But more specifically, it's going to tell us Habot Madrigas are in the sphere of Malchus. And that's going to be huge arichus now on that point. Omnam Yadu, it's means Malchus that Tzilos, Nikkel, Lifamim, B'Shem Yam, Lifamim, B'Shem Eretz. Strachel that Tzilos, sometimes it's called Yam, sometimes it's Eretz. Moshe Kosov, so the marker of Yam is, it says in Kehelis, Kol and Necholim, Eretz Yam. All the rivers end up in the sea. What does it mean of the Kabbalah? Shan Necholim, Ashisham Midas, Necholim, the rivers mean the Shisham Midas, a Mashpim, Alayam, Prince Malchus. So they are mashpil. So in that pasuk, Yam Malchus is Yam. Uksiv. Then there's another pasuk that says V'horetz Adayim Raglish. Hamachas Nigagam Kim Shem Eretz. We see two psukim. The Malchus can be called Yam and Eretz. It means that Malchus is both Yam and Eretz. What's the pshat? Pshat is that really Malchus has two parts to it, two aspects, two madrigas, two levels. Okay, Prince Yam. Malchus Moshe Batzilus. Come on, better no. הכל בתוך האילמס, באילמס גופה, כל דבר משתקף, בתוך האילמס השתשלוס גופה, יותר כמובן, נדבר איתו איכשהו יותר גבוה גם. באילמס גופה, הבדל מריל יציר, זה המדסקס, מחשבה ודיבור. מה? רגע, חייבנה, בתוך מערכת הצילוס גופה, יש גם את שתי הפרטים. זה אומנם ידוע, זה אומנם. בפשטוס, זה עניין של מינוח. That generally speaking, Amit Zkas on this Gali, within the Shtarshalus, sometimes Amit Gali is Bria, and Amit Zkas is Atzilus. Sometimes, there's a lot of ways to when Sachumiret. But he says, within the Shtarshalus of Bria, so Amit Zkas is Atzilus, is Bria, and Amit Gali is Atzilus. And then he says, no, Omnum. That's verkehrt. In our mind, he wants to talk more about Malchus. Malchus, that Tzilus Gufa has these two levels, the level of Yam and the level of Yabosh. Zkas and Gali. So Prinas Yam and Malchus Atzilus, Kumesh Yibat Tzilus, She Madrigas Atzilus, the way Malchus is part of Elam Atzilus, Agam Shesher Shabiyaka Biyasha Batzilus, Malchus, that's within the Atzilus, it's stuck in the Sher Shabiyaka Biyam, Kol Mokabay Prinas Atzilus, Ve'iba Madrigas Atzilus Mamish. The Malchus, the way it's in Elam Atzilus, it's part of Atzilus. The Oras Akav, it means another Lashon, the Oras Akav Shemei Be'etzat Atzilus, and Gam Prinas Malchus. That's the expression in Kabbalah, in Agos HaKodesh, Siman Chof, in Kabbalah Bechlar. Then it brings another detail. The Heis Firs Rishonis Malchus Be'irim, the Beheis Firs, Meirim Tamid B'chinas Giler and so. In Malchus Gufa, the Heis Firs Rishonis have always Giler and so, B'Shekos, B'Sidr, B'Shabbos Vachas, and Yasses Giver. So I put on the WhatsApp the Sidr and the Pirsham from Mital Rebbe. Over there's a lot of riches in this concept. The Hey spheres Rishonis, Chabad, Chesed, Gevura, the Chalukah, Hey and Hey is not that common. Usually the spheres are walking Gimel Rishonis, Zayin Tachtenis. In this particular shtickle Zohar, there was just Maimer quoting, Maimer Yosef Giber, it's Sidr and Pirshamilos. מה?
כן,
כן, נכון, אפשר, it can explain it, but I'm saying it's not common in Chassidus to break down the spheres into 5 and 5. Usually it's 7, it's 3 and 7. When you look at Rishonis, most of the places it says Gimel Rishonis. Only once and twice it says Hey Rishonis. Usually it says Kabbalah also in Chaim. It says a few places Hey Rishonis. לא, אבל פריס הרים, הפוך, פריס הרים זה חסד עד ההועד. כן, זהו. אז יש כמה, כשמדברים על הספירית, יש הרבה פעמים איך להסתכל על זה. במאמר הזה, in this memory, they talk about Yosef Gibbor לא רוצה, they talk about the eight spheres. Okay. Componim, so Malchus has the aor of the Kav, Giloi and so, V'ibrin is Bitl, V'ichl, B'tachas and so. So the Spheres HaMach is in a total state of Bitl, V'ichl, B'tachas, the Kolter and so. Kamoi Chosef, the Spheres that is Chosef, V'chai Echad, V'chai Echad, like it says in Tikkun Zohar, quoted in the Geras HaKodesh, that here V'chayoi, the Ebershter and the Eretz, V'gamai Nekeim, Chad, it's unity. Cain, so just like all the spheres that is Cain, the B'chinas HaMachos, K'meshe B'Atzilus. So that aspect applies also to spheres HaMachos, the B'etz and Atzilus. K'meshe Kosov, L'cho Havaya HaMamloch, Havaya Gdula, Gdula, Tveres HaNetzor, Havaya HaMamloch. The K'mosh, L'cho Havaya Gdula, Gdula, Tveres HaNetzor, Va'oit, Cain, L'cho Havaya HaMamloch. מה שנאמר בבחינת מלכות לכו בפני עצמו, לכו בפני עצמו. Interesting question. What is it? לכו Havaya Gdula, Tveres HaNetzor, Va'oit. I can say Va'amamloch. Why is it Lacham? Why is it twice Lacham? He says that is the chidush. There's a chidush the way it's a malchus. Liyois with a malchus when it's remes with nasu. It's not when it's yesh. Since the concept of malchus is the concept of snasus. You learned earlier one of the memorim take. The concept of snasus means there's something to there's a yesh. The mitzias yesh that you have been snasa about. It's a little flim, not clear. It's milmayla mat. Well, fun of the yesh like Ken Lacham Mamloch, the Be'emes Lecho. Even the level of his natas is also Lecho. His natas, let's mark some Ratzils, ain't a prince his natas al am, because that level of his natas, the way it is not Silos, it's not al am, it's not a Yachas to the Nivoim Shalamato, Ki im his Remes his natas Atzmi, Shemenusa Be'etz. Type of Remes with Shemenusa Be'etz. Masha, because of Hakach. ואתה מוישל בכל, זה פרינס מלכוס כמו שבבייה פרינס נס סלם. שמעת לבייה לחס לחס. Now it jumps right away to the second Madriga Malchus, which it's going to eventually say that's Eretz, the first is Yam, second Eretz, but it jumps right away to this pasuk. What does the pasuk say? Chavay Agdol Ruah Tevas Hanetzach Ha'oid Chavay Amlocha Tevas Amlocha. It's not the Chalarosh. Va'ata Moishel Bakol. It says Va'ata Moishel Bakol. What is that? That's already Malchus K'meshe B'Biyah. If it's not Sal Am, Shemakal B'Biyah, otherwise Machis. Or Upchinas Miutar. That level of Malchus is in the state of Miutar. The oil is diminished. Kamoy Lachio Matis. Atzmech, like the Gemara says in Chulim, when it gets to the Levana. Levana says that L'Shnei Melachim L'Shamash L'Ketzarechot Yevshel L'Shnei Melachim. So the Eibishter says the chiyumat yisatzer diminish itself. What is diminish? Diminish itself. Lower yourself in the madrega of biyah. Liyisresh l'sho'olim. Like the expression in Chazal, ve'izona v'la'arais al tiresh l'sho'olim. But sometimes it says the opposite. Tiresh l'sho'olim. Tiresh l'sho'olim means the head of the lower level, which is biyah. Va'aynosh. Ma? והיינו, חיפש, בדרך כלל בחז"ל, הרי בפרק יובס כתוב, ויזונה ולרייס ולתראה ושואלים, the general is, the general drivers, it should be zona ולרייס. It's better to be the lowest of the higher madrega, let's say, to go to a greater level, a bigger issue, higher level yeshiva and be on the lower grade than be the top grade of the lower madrig. That's past. But in one place, in the Eichel Chazal, I don't remember what was there. I'm not remember somewhere. But this, I'm not. And it says the expression the opposite. There's a Rosh Hashanah. There's a mile of being Rosh Hashanah. Upon him, there's some shot what means in Pashtas. But in Kabbalah, these two madrigas, Zon of Larais, Rosh Hashanah. That's the way Malchus is in Atzilus, the end of Atzilus, the Rosh Hashem, the head of Biyah. Now he brings point here. He brings the. He didn't bring us out of Lahoyes before, but he said Rosh Hashanah. Eine Shabbai Kasis HaParsa. That's the Vadega Malchus that loads itself, that breaks through the Parsa, the curtain, V'yeredes LeBiyah, and Malchus reaches the level of Biyah. It's a derivative light. It's not a direct light. It's derivative. It's a reflection. Which is Shalei Be'erech to the air itself, to the light, to the direct light of the air itself. That's more as another pasuk. Ba'ercha nira oyer. We learn the certain pasuk. Imcha makar chaim ba'ercha nira oyer. Said ba'ercha nira oyer. In your light, we see another light. Shabbat the ba'ercha Shabbat Tzilus, which is the air itself. Nira oyer b'biyah. In that we see a law, another light. Ershal teloda. Derivative light plus the element of okay, so that explains that the Malchus, the way Malchus reaches beyond the lower level of Malchus, which we'll call Eretz, that is the Ershal Telod. That's a low level. And also, even though within Biyah it's called Atzil Shabiyah, I know it's a Lamet Kanim Datzil not in Labiyah. It says a little Lamet Kedim Datzilus. Sometimes the expression is Lamet Kedim the Malchus Datzilus. If I don't remember, there's no Tanya here. If I think the Lashon in Lashon Yosa Kodesh is Lamet Kedim the Malchus Datzilus. Why Lamet Kedim? Says I looked up in the source. It says I brought it also in the WhatsApp that each the 10 spheres Shabbos at Malchus are Mecholak in 3 targets. Reish Teich. That gufa, in other words, not to understand. Sometimes Chassidus breaks it just like also Ramach says in the Ramach mitzvah. Why are we at Ramach? Because test spheres, each sphere Reish Teich. That's 85. That's 81, and no, test times test is 81, and Reish Teich is Reish Mem Hey. Reishmem Gimel. Sometimes the Chassidus use the concept of Reish Teich. Each sphere has 3 levels to it: the top, the middle, and the bottom. That's how we arrive at the number of Lamet Kedim. But basically, it means the way Malchus is Yered Natzilus. It says it's still Atzilus Shebebiyah. Shenas in Aran Labiyah. It's because of Yered Kodesh. So even though So we see there is Atzilus in Biyah. Of course, we have a Kodesh, Simon Chov, Alter writes, Shaka Boka Parsimon, when we have Atzilus, it talks about the Lamed Kenim. So the why do we say Ershel Telodo? We just said Ershel Telodo, that's something new. We just said that Boka Parsimon. In Agam, she says, in Agam, Shanim, Shom Zer Saka, Ve'ein Chesar Odolad, and come, Ein Nekomim Atzilus Mamish. Okay, to us it's all words, it's all technical words that they describe. First, it describes the Ershal Telod. I tell it, says it's not. In that level, it's not called the Ershal Telod. It's called Ein. It's Aor Sakav Ein Aor. Ein Nekomim Atzilus Mamish. So he explained, Vad Zay Shiur Ma'achar Shepnis Tzilus Atzilus Ein Nekomim Atzilus Kumei Bizgas Atzilus Me'Saf HaMatzil. Number one, the fact that it's outside of Atzilus, that's already an expression of a Yerida, ain't similar to
yeah. It is only, right? That's what he said.
No, it's not.
You saying that it's not?
No, it's not. No. He says, Agam was the whole Saka, ain't a Prince of the it's not. It's according to the it's not our it's Mamish Hor. Even though it's a horror, but it's not. It's still not. So it's like another level madrigal. It's a kav. It's not a horror, but it's Ershel Telda. It's not exactly the way it's in a til. Naraya, he says. Number 2. So he gets 2 explanations here. Again, all these explanations, it doesn't explain to us in a way you can understand the concept. But it was the formula. I had the word describing it. What's the description? The fact that it's outside of Atzilus, it already makes it not Atzilus. So Kamoin brings a dug. To understand it better, we have a dogma for something higher. Moi. He's got Atzilus from himself Hamatzil, just like Atzilus biyachas to the himself shall mile Atzilus from himself Hamatzil, she'ein eitzem husoil. It's not the same thing. Kol shekem Atzilus tabriya, kmo shekosmach. That's kal v'choyma. If from la mile Atzilus to Atzilus, it's ein musoil, alachas kam Atzilus tabriya. You know, so it's one of these things that we have to understand. It's just a description that describes that the jump from Atzilus to Bria, even though the Algeras HaKadosh says that's Haoras HaKav Boka Parsa, it's still not the same. It's still a lower level. It's even Urshel Torah, but it's not Haoras HaOra. In the Algeras HaKadosh, there's a whole Parichas Haoras, all kind of the Shengus. So that's one thing. Number two, in another point, it says Lavadzes. That's number one. In another point, Namachas Gmesha Atzilus, and it brings in another point. The difference. It's number one. Malchus the Beit Tzatzav Hatzilus. It's outside. It's not in its own place. It's already a lower level. That's step one. Now, another point is in Prince Malchus which Hatzilus Shulchas that's Tzilus because the Malchus Hatzilus part of that sphere is I measure closer. My couch from this spheres bichlal. Because it's part of that spheres, it takes in a higher level of the kav, which is its kal, which is a result of the skalus, which is called the Ubchinas Ha'oil Kolona. There's a concept called the Oil Kolona. He's going to bring soon the marshal from a minion. That Oil Kolona means when the 10 spheres combine together, they bring in a higher level, which is Oil Kolona. It's above all of them. Okay, so that's the other point. That's another way to explain what is the Yerida that happens to Malchus when it's Eret Chutz Tabiyah, when it's part of Hatzilus. When it's part of Hatzilus, there's the Eret Kolon. Kasha Nifot of Prince Malchus b'fnei Atzam v'yod B'riya. Ma she'enkem Malchus lowers itself to B'riya. Kasha Meir B'orak L'Asfir Zapot is Be'einem Meir Shepchinas Kol Sa'ir. Kaviyachol loses that aspect of Klolos Oil Kolona, which is Natzilus, because it's not part of that spheres anymore. It's separated. Al derech, like I said, the mashal. Derech kol b'eshon hashchita sharia. The kol b'eshon hashchita sharia. Okay, I bought a mashal. Practically speaking, that minion. You have a minion. You need to say kedusha. You need a minion. What is the reason? Actually, that's the reason. The Gemara says kol b'eshon hashchita sharia. When 10 Eden get together, there's a special Ashos HaShechina, just the combination of the 10. Individual, even if he's Yochid V'Doyer, Chad V'Doro, but Tzadik Gomo, K'mo Moshe Rabbeinu, he's Tzadik like Moshe, Arei, you can call him Yochid. He's still a Yochid, and he doesn't get that mile of a Shechinta Shari. The Davka L'Asor Shechinta Shari, there's Zeo Shiur Koyim Shleima K'mo Yisrael L'Mayla. So that is the nimshal. The nimshal is. I'll say the nimshal for himself. Okay, but right now in the mosh. So B'meila says that even there's this unique type of oil which is nimshal. Davkum there's a somi soul. A social shari. So even the yachid, B'der like Moshe, he still can't reach that level. But then it's a makam acher. Sometimes it says no, that Moshe does that. Why? Because the yachid sha'arabim tzrichim loy. Ein schon schon Klolis, which is all manhigam, are you nine come up to the table. Yet, I חושב שזה הגעה למיתל. Okay. Holy. So it says, okay. So first, in other words, there's tzaddik gomo k'may Moshe Rabbeinu. If he reaches the higher levels of tzidkus like Moshe Rabbeinu, that is ton taliyachid. But then there's another aspect, neshama klolis. That's a different concept. Yochid Sharabim Tzrichim. He represents the rabbi. It's not his own. So in a way, it's not a steer even because he represents the rabbi. So it still tells you that he needs a sorrow. He happens to be a individual, unique type of individual. He represents the rabbi, but he still, in order to have the Shrinta Shari, he knows to have the rabbi. That's number one. Number two, like la halacha, a person Moshe Rabbeinu davened by himself. He still followed. He did only the tefillas hayochi, not tefillas harabim. He didn't say kedusha. You know, there's certain aspect. No, it says the nene k'may tefillas hatzibur. But the halacha still. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's what it says. That shows that feel is a higher level of feel. Component. That's the marshal. What's the name? There's the human. The best feel that feels mem close. So a calf. Shemana mepnimi. שזה מאיר גם מבחינת מלכוס בלבד. Says now גם מבחינת מלכוס. So when the Malchus is part of that sphere, it's similar to the concept of the 10% at center in the minion. So it's part of the minion, it's part of the way I saw. But Meir, so what's Meir there? Meir Klola Seir Akav Shel Malam Berapnim. So you get that level of Seir Akav, which is a Malam Berapnim, there clearly. שזה מבחינת מלכוס. כאשר יודע בבריאה, משנקן, when the center goes out of the room, כאשר יודע בבריאה, when Malchus separates כביכול, and יודע בבריאה, מאיר ברק, האורס הקו, השייך מלכוס לבד. Okay, so that is one way to, another way, the way to, so again, in my component, in the general concept can be understood, but all these various ways he expresses it, a little mufshadi. The second, first he said, you see a few steps here. First, the fact that it's outside of its own place, that's already a reason. That's step one. Now he says step two, it loses the klolosaur, the colonna. Now he says the third thing. Omnam yadua, and then the third thing. The possession, if the another point is that even the pnimi shebemach is not just the market, because the colonna, even the pnimi also diminished, and lower. Then there is another dog. Is base. That's interesting. Sometimes the ois base, the Tevas Boruch, the famous marshal Chassidus and other places, sometimes it's used as the law of Oil colonna. Marshal Oil colonna is like a minion. There are a bunch of letters. When you combine them together, turn into a word. So it's also no Oil colonna. But here he understands. Here he separates them. That's part of a pnimi. His base, Tevas Boruch, there's a word called Boruch. You take the base, take it out. What happens? Show by Giloi or Seichel, the word Boruch represented an idea. Bless. It's a concept. So then when that letter is separated, it still maintains in a way when you write Rosh Tevis, Baruch Hashem, base hey, the base means Baruch also. So the base can still maintain part of the Baruch, right? Still low level than the way it was when it's part of the world. Because the so we have Mr. Terav here. מה כתוב שם? איפה כתוב? לא זוכר. אוקיי. מעריך.
מסתבך את זה שחרה, יש לצמצום לכל נקודה של הצמצום.
זהו, ירד מאוד. כמוי כן יובן, כמוי כן יובן מבחינת המלכות, so he says the marshal from Ace basement, Tevas Baruch, is the nimshalis, כמח שירד איזו יריע, גם שמר בעיר הקו, אין זה כמו שמר בפריסה באצילוס. So we brought the 3 points that he made, how Malchus, the way it's outside of Atzilus, which eventually is going to come, that's the Madrig of Eretz, Yabosha Shabbat Malchus, doesn't maintain the same level of Gilei Likus, same strength, the way it is in Atzilus, which is Yam. So he spoke a few levels in that goof, a few ways to explain. But then he brings another dogma, now he goes ahead, brings a dogma, the difference in Malchus, and the Malchus, the way it's in Atzilus, the way it's in Biyah, so brings a raya from another concept in Chassidus and Kabbalah that in Kelim of Atzilus Gufa, there's the difference between Pnimis Kelim and Chetzenis Kelim, the inner part and the outer part. What's the pshat? The inner Kelim Bechlal and Mitzias Gvul. The Indian of Kelim of the spheres, Kelim means Mitzias Gvul. It's something tangible and something limited. Kliya Chesed. It's limited to the concept of Chesed. It's limited and it's defined as Chesed. The mush. The it brings all of the Chachma, Bina, Chagaz, Zel, Pchinas HaKelim, Shem Mitzias, Chachma v'Chesed. That's the Kelim. The Oir is shooting bad. The Oir is the godly energy. The Oir in Sof Shabbat that's shooting. That's abstract. Sharin Amshacha v'Gilim Pchinas HaKelim Pashut B'Tachlis. Because what is Oiris of the Kelim? The Oiris is the Gile. The Oiris of Pashut B'Tachlis, something which is totally abstract and mufshet. The Mele. Okay, because they come from the Eretz of Aposhut, so the Eretz of Shabbat are also pshut. That is the source of the concept in Kabbalah. That was more in Chesed is now more in Gvur, and vice versa. So what sagt er? Because even though it's mislavish, invests itself, clothes himself, it's really not chesed. בעצם it's פשוט. לכן יכניס להחליף את תחתיים, מבחינת הכלים, תחתיים means the location, which means the kelim, ליש בלי הגבול. So that's the iris. The iris is in a way of mufsha, they're abstract, they're removed from any shape and form. Where does the limitation and definition come from a kelim? The kelim, their function is to limit and define the iris. But within Kelim Gufa, there's two levels. There's a difference in the inner Kelim and the outer, the more external. What's the difference? The inner part of the Keli has a certain connection and equality. It's equal, it's comparable to the earth. There's some kind of connection. That's why that part of the Keli unites with the Eir and connects and is one with the Eir. And that's a marshal that. But marshal for Adam Lamata be slapshus a koich is very good. Marshal to that is in slapshus a koich is very good. The koich is a nefesh. I'm a lubush, invested, included in the limbs of the body. For example, the koich haseichel is lubush in chaymer hamoyach, and the ariyah chaymer ha'ayin. Chaymer bein arich l'gabei first is the chaymer, the matter, the body, the physical body. It's shalei be'erich to the neshama. Look at Oil with source and nefesh in the Sham and the form. That is a physical entity, the goof, and the neshama is the spiritual. We come be'echach lema shesh as ishtabas ba'kli but there is something that they're equal, something that makes them connected. Kamoy b'chaymer ha'ayin. Okay, we spoke about it. That's something good. The matter of the eye, or serious the clarity that the eye has, the eye, from all the parts of the body, the eye can be a kli to the koyach because the eye has something unique to it. It's like we have a glass. The glass can be dirty. If it's dirty, we can see the sun through it. But if it's clear, yeah. זה כתוב, כבר כתוב קודם, פשקוס בערך. וריאס. שבעין אין הדבר חומרי. So let's go back. What do you think? That. Famous here. Furious Shaba'ayin, that aspect of the eye, that part of the eye that it's so clear and abstract, so to speak, ain't it davar chumri? That itself is not. What's the mashal? Yeah. Yeah, that was the elevator. You
know what? With mashal. Village. So yeah. Upper West Side.
Ansel Lubavitch, 770. What? Okay, but the spiritual and that aspect of the eye, which is the clarity of the eye, is not something really tangible and physical like the eye itself. All right, so that's a little less than anatomy. Human anatomy. יש עוד 5 דקות. ישנה המון זמן. אבל חיים וחיים אמר. So that's muscle number 1 to explain how the pneumius akeli is really connect, is really as a common denominator with the oil. Chain similar, it's similar to that in the matter of the brain, the physical brain. The spiritual moisture. Says Ruchni.
I don't think it's vapor. I don't think it means spiritual. Ruchni doesn't. It's vapor. It's vapor. Yeah, no, but it says Ruchni. Moisture. Ruchni doesn't mean spiritual in this case. It's like an English expression. I don't believe.
Look, I'll tell you what, because I said, when it talks about the Eish Baruch Maim offer, Maim b'yachas to offer is considered Ruchni, because Maim b'yachas to offer, it offer is limited, it offer stays in one place. Maim goes, Maim moves, fluid. So the fluidity relative to something that's standing is considered more Ruchni. All right, but again, but the truth is all these things. So the point is that he's saying something which we can't really see, but he's saying a concept that the Evra Guf, that part of the Guf that connects to the Rechas and Nefesh, is the spiritual aspect of that Evra. So the Ayin and the Mayach Lemashal have as something spiritual to it that's a kela to the Koyach Nefesh. We can't point to it.
That's here. That's makabel. The and the Mayach has lachluchas. So I'm saying it's a.
It's called spurious, and this is called the Holchus. I don't know what it is. That's interesting. Come on, it's a mush. הרי שיש באיברים הפנימיים איזה שטר וסלר.
As we mean.
So all this is a mashal. So usually bring the mashal to understand the nimshal. Here, hopefully, we understand. Why we read the ksur in Aramaic, everybody should understand what it says. That's it. Why?
Yeah.
Huh? זה היום, אבל במקור, למה קבעו כתובה בארמית? כדי שיבינו מה שכתוב. על דרך זה טוב, מפשטיין דה משל, מה מפשטיין דה נמשל? כפונים, so in the marshal, in a way, in the marshal we can relate to it, and theoretically at least, that we, okay, what's the נמשל? אדום, זה יום מכנס הקהל למיילו, so the נמשל למיילו, the פנימס הכלי, שיש לה ערך ושטר ססלר. There's an aspect in the kelim lamail, in the sphere's guf, in the kelim, which we said earlier, calling Yanu Hagbolo. And seal, there is an aspect in the kli which is a keli, which is a yes, let me shtavas alone. Yes. Right. יכתב את הבריחות. מעניין, מה שמעניין, אבל זה נכתב אותה תקופה. Everything is written very, very condensed.
Was kommt zu da, als steht nicht ein Base? Steht halt schon ein Base.
Ich habe nicht klar in einem Base gewesen.
Ein Base.
I don't know.
Was für eine Hände kommt dir zu morgen, was nicht geht früher?
Bei mir ist alles dieselbe Sache, aber in Marshall, jeder kann, was wir gemacht, der ganzen Tulp, ein Wort steht dort, steht nicht dort. Noch Erich und Sefer, aber ich kenne nicht. Nie ein Mensch wie ich, bei mir ist alles. Akel beschoffen, also wir sind nicht stark.
Was? Jeder versteht, aber er versteht nicht. Okay.
Das ist der Empfang.
Nee, warte.
שלא היה מערב, לא כתב בשביל, כתב אותו בשביל שנשום את הציץ. שאלות, אנחנו מרגיש, והם מבינים, מרגיש.
Was ist dein Wort, Jas?
Nein, nein. Gut.
Okay. משום זה כתוב קו הסער בסער דסנם שער. ועיקר עניין פריעו בחיי גרמוי אחד, פנימס הקהל, that says 9 days also. ועיקר עניין פריעו בגרמוי אחד, no, the ikar is in pnimius. Okay, it doesn't say Tanya. the fact that Yovel Gamoy Chad, it says in the Konizem, the Alter Rebbe in the Kodesh, that applies more to the Pnimis Hakeli. She'ene Adain Nivel Pnis Nivel, Vein Adain Pnis Nivel Vein Adain Misach Adar. Pnis Chitzoin is Hakeli Pnis Nivel Vein Adain Misach Adar. Hat kann es sein. Kann sein. Akol Yachol Yo. All right. Shikaya.